So now we will go into that one. Okay. So I'll be taking for another 15-20 minutes class. Okay. Afterwards, you guys are going to the time now is okay. Within 5 o'clock, I need to see that write up. I'm not going to give any more time for you guys. Okay. Now let us look at that. Okay. In the last class, at the end of the last class, okay, we stopped with your blowdown tunnel and interrupt tunnel. So I told you, okay, what is the relative comparison between both of the things, okay? Between these two in terms of merits and demerits, okay? Two tunnels, okay? In terms of merits and demerits. Okay. So now we will proceed for the next part of it, okay? If you take your tunnel, okay, so the main thing is, okay, how are we going to achieve a supersonic flow here? That you need to know certain basics of that, okay. So what will happen? Okay, you are going to have a, for example, if you take a blowdown tunnel, you are going to have a pressure tank. Through the pressure tank, okay, you are going to have a settling chamber. In the settling chamber, you are going to connect your convergent divergent nozzle. At the end of the convergent divergent nozzle, okay, you are going to get a supersonic Mach number. Okay, this is your test section. Okay, and afterwards, okay, depending on that, okay, we'll be going for energy saving purpose. Okay, we'll be going for another one more convergent divergent diffuser. It's going to diffuse your means reduce your velocity to supersonic to subsonic. Okay, so what we call this throat as your second throat. Okay, so through that, okay, your Mach number is going to be greater than 1, that is supersonic, okay, but that too depends on your P0 condition here, P0 and T0. So here what will happen after the second throat, okay, you are going to have a subsonic Mach number, and the purpose of that, okay, if you are going to have your second throat, it's going to help you in reducing your power losses, because the moment if you are means the pressure recovery point, we are going to do that. Okay, so here the ratio between your A2 by A star, it's going to be A2 star by A1 star. It's going to dictate about these Mach numbers, your whatever your Mach number here. Okay, so now these Mach number. Now you need to know certain basics for your this one. Okay, now why do you need a convergent divergent nozzle, sir, for generating a supersonic? Why don't you generate it with a convergent nozzle? Is it possible to generate a supersonic flow with a convergent nozzle? Why not? What is the necessity in going for a convergent divergent? Any ideas? I need an answer from you people. Speak out, sir. Excuse me. Why you need to go for a convergent divergent cross section? Okay. Why can't you do with your convergent alone? You didn't ask this question.
Maximum Mach number we achieve through convergence is Mach number 1, sir.
Where, sir?
If it is
In the
only
case of
convergent,
your convergent nozzle, you are going to get only a Mach number of 1. You can't achieve a Mach number of more than 1. Are you saying? Are you trying to say here?
yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. But if you look at most of the supersonic fighters, that's fixed with your turbojet engine. Okay, whether they have a convergent nozzle or a convergent divergent nozzle.
They have only convergent.
Convergent. Then how come they are achieving a supersonic flow? If your nozzle is not going to produce a supersonic flow, how come they are getting a supersonic speed? Any one of you? It's good. You don't worry about whether your answer is right or wrong, sir. First, you speak out boldly.
Then they can leave the flow to expand fully, so flow can achieve higher Mach number. But
Best.
in case of wind tunnel, we have to confine the flow.
Mm-hmm. Even here also, I can confine the flow.
Sir, in aircrafts you have this weight constraint also, but here we do not have that.
So if you don't feel a weight constraint, automatically, but what is the cost involved in designing a section, a diverging section? You guys know the answer. You should have asked this question in your air propulsion course, or even prior to that in compressor fluid course. You should have asked this question. Why you have a, instead of, if you look at your supersonic tunnel, blow down tunnel, why are you going for a convergent divergence cross section? Okay. Nozzle. Okay. Here, instead of a convergent nozzle, or whether they are going for a convergent divergent nozzle. Yes, please tell me, sir. I need to get an answer from you. Other things are not so easy, sir. Let us. You don't worry about okay, your subject at all. Okay, we can brush it up in a kind of 10 hours period. It's not a problem. But you need to know how much you understood that. If tomorrow, okay, you are going to work in a research lab, they are asking you to design a supersonic tunnel. What will you do? Quick. Krishna Murali. Rajri.
Yes.
Yeah. Say something.
I was going to say the same thing as Kevin, sir.
Okay. Can you repeat it? Maybe something.
In the convergent nozzle, it won't be accelerated above Mach 1.
But how come you are achieving a supersonic Mach number in this one? What is happening at the exit of your convergent nozzle? What is happening in your CD portion, divergent portion in the nozzle?
Sir, in convergent nozzle, at the exit of the convergent nozzle, the flow is choked.
Okay.
But convergent divergent nozzle beyond the throat, when the divergent section comes, it further accelerates the supersonic velocity.
Are you thinking that in all cases you are going to have a acceleration beyond Mach number 1 in the case of your CD nozzle? Yes, sir. Please tell me, sir.
Sir, that depends on the pressure ratios.
Yeah. What is that number, sir? P by P naught.
0.528.
But my question, okay, okay, you are going to achieve your supersonic condition here. Your Mach number 1 and all, you are going to achieve it in the throat. Okay. Here also, you are going to achieve a flow is choked, Mach 1 is reached. Are you thinking that we are not going to get a convergent nozzle, you are not going to get a exit supersonic flow or not? Whether are you going to get a supersonic flow or not? Just a pinch, automatically you can answer.
Sir, when we have a convergent divergent nozzle, then the storage tank, the stagnation pressure value to be maintained can be less, sir, compared to when we have a convergent nozzle.
Why, sir? Why? Why?
Because you can achieve greater velocity in a CD nozzle.
Why? Still, you didn't come to the path properly. Okay, you are going to have a pressure storage tank. If you are going to connect a convergent nozzle and convergent divergent nozzle, okay. In the case of a convergent divergent nozzle, you are going to get a better velocity. How? Why? Just to think, sir. A jet is going to come out, okay, through an orifice in a free mode, or if it is okay, bounded by a wall. How the difference is going to be?
Sir, in the storage tank, the air is at rest, so you have to accelerate from rest. Whereas in the case of aircrafts, it is already moving.
I told you, still don't go into the jargons. Sir, in the case of your convergent nozzle at the exit, what is happening? Whether whatever the your Mach number is going to be reaching a 1 in the your if you take your convergent nozzle, okay, nozzle is so you are going to have a Mach number 1. Still flow is there. An expansion is going to be there. Is it right? Whether it is an under expanded nozzle, over expanded nozzle, depending on the case, the expansion is going to be there. Whether it's a confined expansion or unconfined expansion.
Unconfined expansion.
Sir, it's a free boundary, sir.
Free boundary. Okay. You take your convergent divergent nozzle. Okay. Whether here in the convergent divergent nozzle, the divergent portion further helping you to accelerate the flow. Mach number 1 is going to reach here. Okay. Same way at the exit, you are going to convergent nozzle, you are going to reach. So what is happening is flow is accelerating and Mach number is going to be supersonic. Here, whether the flow is confined or unconfined.
Fine.
Now, if it is a something, if you look at that, your Mach number is going to be your aircraft Mach number. If it is something close to your less than 2, okay, you can have a around that, okay, you can have your conversion nozzle, okay, you can avoid the weight penalty. Overall, the efficiency that people used to fix up your conversion nozzle. But if your Mach number is higher, surely they need to go for your conversion diversion nozzle. Then only you are going to have a effective expansion is going to be there. Whatever the you mentioned that your whatever the storage you kept it, process storage, that should be effectively used. That's why we are going for a convergent divergent nozzle. Okay.
So then in fighter jets, how are they reaching supersonic velocity?
Sir?
So then in fighter aircrafts and all, how are they reaching supersonic velocity?
See, what happens is, okay, if you look at the convergent nozzle, after reaching a Mach number 1, still your nozzle is choked automatically. Your P by P naught, okay, whatever the point mentioned by Sanjay, okay, it's still energy is there. They are going to expand in an unconfined way. They are going to generate a Mach number of supersonic.
Okay, sir.
You can put a divergent portion, but you look at how much cost you are going to pay for a fighter aircraft controls. You can't simply keep the controls over there. You need to go for because if you are going to have in the supersonic fighter and all, you are going to add a mass flow rate through your afterburner. Okay, or otherwise through your water methanol injection, water plus methanol injection. There also you are going to add the mass flow. So automatically you need to go for a variable area nozzle. If you look at that, most of your fighter jets and all, you can see that the exit of the nozzle is going to open widely and close it depending on the fuel injection rate.
Yes, sir.
Automatically, what will happen? The cost will go up. Weight penalty will go up. Controls is very trivial, very difficult. Do you know why other foreign countries they are coming for India for launching their satellite?
We do it at comparatively low cost.
That's all. Okay, sir. Okay. See, then you can ask me, okay, why, how you are in the divergent portion, your Mach number 1 further expanding to supersonic here. How that's happening, sir?
So that is by area Mach number relation.
Is it because of that? How the area Mach number relations is helping? How your area Mach number relation is helping? Yes, sir. Please tell me, sir. In your compressible course, have you studied method of characteristics?
He just introduced, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is happening, sir, in the method of characteristics? Can you explain about that? Okay. What is the steps involved? Yeah, please tell me, sir. See, if you take your convergent portion, your Mach number 1 is going to be reached. Okay, further. That's having a capability. If you look at that, they are going to expand it. So, depending on the angle of expansion, okay, that is what we call it as, okay, theta. Okay, you have a for a particular Mach number, okay, inlet Mach number, you are going to get a Prandtl-Meyer function, new. Then after the expanding through that, okay, your Prandtl-Meyer function theta plus, because expansion corner, you are going to get a nu 2. Corresponding Mach number you can calculate, m2. So like that, okay, you are going to have a multiple expansion. Depending on number of steps, you are going to have a multiple expansion, they are going to reflect. So there will be a flow net kind of thing. Okay. So simple region, non-simple region, we'll identify, okay. We'll find out each zone, how much your Mach number, each net, okay. And we have to have a geometrical shape, how it is going to flow, is going to turn, those things, okay. So you need to have a idea about reflection of your waves. Okay. Anyway, I'll take a simple method of simple way of designing a nozzle, okay, convergent divergent nozzle, okay, way of designing your CD nozzle, okay, using what we call it as method of analysis. I'll take it. Coming classes, I'll take up that. But I'm not going for a too much complex way of designing, but you need to know what is happening. Okay, we are going to take an axisymmetry case, very simple case. Okay, half of that your CD nozzle, we will take it up. Okay, we will design that one. For example, okay, you have a convergent. Normally, convergent portion we won't worry. We will worry only the divergent portion. We'll be taking the free boundary, the central zone. Only one half of only we will take. Okay, the reflection. Okay, and also another one more step will be there. So that's going to be how many ways you are going to have a, okay, like this. So each zone depending on this angle and your new value, whatever the Prandtl-Meyer function value, using that we will get the new 2, okay, and what is the Mach number for that, okay. Like this we'll find out the geometrical area of that for each every location. We will go ahead for the your whole geometry. This is a simple your method of characteristics, very simple cases, but this is for a 2D axisymmetric. If you want, okay, you can do it for a complex case also. Okay, now we will go into the next part of it. I will take it up. Okay, we will see that. So okay, so now okay, in the your test section, you are going to get a supersonic flow. Okay, supersonic flow. So if you are going to keep a model, okay, Sanjay asked me, okay, earlier, okay, if you are going to have a probe over there, you are going to have a detached shock, or depending on your theta is going to be less than theta max, you are going to have a attached shock. Already you have studied in your commercial course, okay. Okay, attached shock, if your theta is going to be greater than theta max, it's going to have a detached shock. Here, how are you going to get the your this one in this one? Okay, so here if I am going to come and keep the model over there, okay, how are you going to measure the force and balance? Because what will happen, I want to simulate a condition of, what is the purpose of the tunnel? Simulate a condition of greater than 1, okay, a real time flow situation, for example m2.5. With the help of a convergent divergent nozzle, I am going to accelerate the 2.5. Now, if I want to keep a model over there, my model, okay, whether it's going to really, it's going to face a Mach number of 2.5. So here we will be thinking about that, okay. Because yeah, detached sac is going to form, or attached sac is going to form. After that, okay, how the flow switching is. Yeah, test thrombus. So what we will do is a wedge-like arrangement, okay. So what will happen? Yes, sac pattern will form, and it's going to be, make sure that okay, your model is going to be within the your test thrombus. Within the your test thrombus. Or if I want to measure the real-time your stagnation pressure within the tunnel, you need to have a, as I mentioned in the previous class, you need to go for a Rayleigh-Bellard formula. Okay, next class I'll take up that. Okay, for a case of a subsonic flow. Okay, if I didn't consider a compressibility effect, what will be the possible losses? Percentage of losses. We'll take up a derivation, so we will discuss in the next class, okay, regarding that this and all, how much amount of percentage losses and all. Then we will come back to that your Rayleigh-Bellard formula, okay. After finishing that, we will take it up your calibration of your subsonic and supersonic. Because already we looked at that what are the your instruments are there for required for measuring the your this one instruments for measuring the flow behavior. I need to go little more on that, okay, like what is the kind of shape you are going to use, okay. I'll take up that, and we will go for a calibration of subsonic and supersonic tunnel. And in the case of a subsonic flow, what will be the your flow visualization methods are there, okay. That also we need to look at the flow visualization method. Subsonic, and then we'll go for a supersonic. Any question? Any questions, sir?